My name is Darius Sunawala, and my spiritual experience was diving. But my wife is a professional dancer and runs her own dance academy. And for her, dance is the quintessential spiritual moment in her life. Which is why when we were traveling through Spain, we had one night in Seville. Sevilla, if you're Spanish, but my Spanish is as good as my Kannada, so I'm going to say Seville. All right. So we had one night in Seville, and everyone knows that the flamenco is a Andalusian property. It comes from this region in Spain that's very famous for their flamenco. So we decided to go for a flamenco performance, and we do our research, and we discovered that there are two flamenco performances, and we want to go and watch both of them. I'm going to tell you what they both are in a second. First, let me remind you that Seville is supposed to be the epicenter of free tapas and great food and great booze and wild party university kids. So the dance performance that we're going to go to, the first one is called the House of Memories, or Casa de la Memoria de Al Andalus. The memories, the House of Memories of Andalusian traditions. So we're walking there because we're traveling on a budget, backpackers that we were back then. Now we have a kid and we spoil ourselves. We actually have a toilet in our rooms, but back then we didn't. So we're walking there to save money from bus. And as we walk there at about 8 o'clock in the evening, the streets are dead. When I say dead, it is unbelievably deserted. It's so eerily deserted that as we're walking down these narrow lanes, because Seville is an old town, so they've got small little cobbled streets and small little cobbled avenues, and we're walking down, there is no one on the street, and we're a little freaked out. It is a little scary, and we're thinking like, this is the party city? Gotta be shitting me. Anyway, we reach, sorry, you gotta be kidding me. YouTube. Oh, YouTube. Gotta be shitting me, Mom. So we reach the House of Memories, and we walk in there. It's expensive tickets that we decide to splurge on. And we go in, and it's an old, ancient Spanish bungalow. And it's really small, and they have the patio, what we call patio, which is like an internal courtyard. So it's a small little internal courtyard, and they've got seating all around it for 30 people. So it's 30 people and this one small platform. And then they introduce the flamenco artists. And flamenco has three things. They've got the guitar and the music, they've got the dancer, and they've got the singer. Cantuoro and Chante or something. Anyway, dancer, singer, and music, which is usually the Spanish guitar. And each of them are legendary artists. So they're all national award winners. They've all been felicitated and awarded by the government. So they're really flamboyant and very well educated about their own art form. And then the performance begins, and the performance is explained very intellectually and very precisely and very clearly. And they explain to you how the Spanish guitar works. And then the flamenco artist who's going to sing talks about his experiences in life and why this next love song broke his heart. And he sings it really passionately, hitting notes with perfection. And then you've got the flamenco dancer who's like stamping away with her passion and clean lines and perfect body structure, and then breaks down the move and explains to us how everything works. And it's this incredibly perfect, eloquent performance. And we finished that performance, standing ovations all around. Everyone's thrilled, except Aarti and me, my wife Aarti. We're edging towards the door because we've got to leave, exit, and run across Seville to another place called La Carboneria to watch our second flamenco performance. And La Carboneria is a coal mine that Seville was once famous for, which is now closed. So they've reclaimed the coal mine. And in this coal mine, they've got a wild bar and an underground flamenco scene. In case you're planning on going there, it's no longer underground because tourists have found it and now they sell souvenirs there. But back then, it was genuinely an underground flamenco scene. So we go thundering across town, and as soon as we exit, there are hordes of people on the streets. And apparently in Seville, if you come out before 8 o'clock, you're like the biggest loser in the world. Of course, my wife and I were happy with our backpacks and all, struggling along. So no one comes out before 9 o'clock. So suddenly the streets are filled. We run across town and we're searching for La Carboneria and we can't find it because the information we have says that it's got to be here on the street. And we walk up the street, we walk down the street, and we can't find it. And finally we ask like one drunk party local, La Carboneria, donde está where it is? And she said, there. And there is just a door. There's just a door. There's no sign that says La Carboneria. There is nothing. There's just a door in a wall. And you open the door, and there's just grimy crap, all grimy stuff, all along the passage. You let it all that. Yeah. There's all this grimy stuff along the way. You just walk through, and then suddenly it opens into this massive cold chamber. And at the far corner is the bar, and at the other corner is a little platform where everyone is already like trying to squeeze in there. Aarti and I squeeze in there. And then we've got these two. So they do something that's called yorga, which is improvisation, or as they have another word for it, which means like do whatever the hell you want. I'm saying hell. Do whatever the hell you want. So they've got like a guitarist, and they've got a flamenco dancer, and they've got a singer. And it is the most grungy, earthy, sexual, Mother Nature animistic performance ever. And they were close to each other, and the audience was right up next to them. And when the flamenco dancer was snapping her hair, we had sweat hitting all of us. Everyone was like, yeah, whoa, yeah, whoa. But it was this intimate and very powerful performance. And for Aarti and me, what was fantastic about the evening was that you got to see the two divergent positions that flamenco was at that moment splitting into, which was people who were going very traditional, and flamenco was a gypsy, the Roma, the traveling people, tribes of that area of Southern Europe. They started flamenco, and you could see that one strain that was going deep and grunge and earthy, and there was another that was giving it a very intellectual and formalized education to it, and it was an unbelievable experience for us. Cue clap. All right, thank you. I've just got one point to make though. Many of us have gone to Spain. Many of us will go back many times. It's a captivating country, and when you do go there, there are two things that you can spend your tourist money doing. You can go and watch a bullfight, or you can go and watch flamenco. I request you to think really long and hard where you want and what you want your money to fund. And think about that as you enjoy the beefsteak here. That is just fantastic. Thank you.